Yo, guys, today we will be going over the workouts I did in over the past 3 to 4 months that have transformed my vertical from not only a 40.5 or 41.5 to a 45.5. Thanks to the fish who asked what workouts I structured throughout the week for each phase and how I plan them differently. So I'll be dropping the sauce. I want to start off by saying that keep in mind this was my first cycle that I ever programmed for myself and first month of training. So everything's kind of all over the place. But basically for what I did this cycle and every other cycle so far is I weightlifted twice a week and I jumped the rest of the days. But on those weightlifting days, for back squat, on Mondays, I did back squat and power cleans. Always do power cleans first because that's your most explosive lift. Then I went into back squats and then I went to hip thrust. Hip thrusts are very key for bounce. I've never really done weighted hip thrusts until now in my life, and it was a huge game changer. That even I have damaged my hip thrust in the past. So if you're playing football, basketball, volleyball, hip thrusts are very important, and also your core. Which leads me into my second days. On Wednesday is when I would do front squat, RDL, and hand cleans. I forgot to mention I did do seated calf raises on both of these days, but I would recommend one day do standing calf raises with a barbell on your neck and then the other day seated. I'm doing that now and I'm already feeling like I'm getting way more gains, but on to the next cycle. On this cycle, I focused on between the 5 to 3 rep range, what ended up me maxing out a lot more and going to just push my potential and see on the highest things that I could go to. And this time around, I did power clean, back squat, hip thrust. So everything on the first day was pretty much the same. But on the second day, it was hand clean, front squats actually this time, RDLs, and that's pretty much it. And the seated calf raises for both of them. Now, around this cycle, I really started gunning for a 42.5-inch vertical because I was so close to touching 11 foot. Like, I could feel it. So I just started practicing one-step approaches because I was in my deload week. And I couldn't go all out because I knew if I went all out, I would have probably fatigued myself and I would have had no chance. So in this one, you see me practicing one-step approach dunks. I might have took a couple of extra steps. And then I did ended up doing some max approach jumps to see if I could get 11 foot this week, but I just barely missed it. But I knew the up and coming week I would get it because when I missed it on these days, it was like 70-80% effort. And I was fatigued. I was still really fatigued. So like me almost touching 11 foot when I'm really fatigued and tired means something. So when I finally unloaded, it just felt like, And 40 has never felt so easy in my life. Like I hit 315 on hip thrust and I think 300 and some in a quarter squat. So that my power was like up. My power was really up at this time. And I was able to push a lot harder in my penultimate state, allowing me to get higher. But I was so mad that day I didn't get it. I was so freaking close. But I recommend for each cycle to be 3 to 4 weeks long, with the 5th or 4th week being a deload week where you kind of back off of everything and relax. But on this very week, the week after I deloaded, my jumps have never felt this light before. Even on 45, I never felt this good. Like, I was slapping the top of the vert trainer, not even the bell. I was slapping past the bell when I hit it. On my 11-foot attempt, it only took 2 tries on this cycle to hit it, which is strange on the day I hit 45, which we'll get into that. Even though I just put a phase 3, this was my last lift, the phase 2, where I maxed out and I had an all-time high for hash squat and front squat, which was really good. But this phase was the worst phase yet, but it brought out a lot of gains. This was the hypertrophy phase. Now, the first phase, I tried to do the hypertrophy phase, but I realized I failed, and I should have been working on getting general strength and just getting more mass. So I started focusing on getting way deeper in my squats and just fixing my form on everything, which benefited me a ton. At first, it felt like my jumps were horrible. I was glued to the ground. I felt sluggish. I started feeling like I was losing that superhuman feeling when I jumped. But man, oh man, like I started getting definition to my leg. Like it felt like my legs were gaining muscle once I started doing deep squat and doing 4 or 5 by 10. I did power cleans at first, but then I stopped doing power cleans and hip thrusts, kinda, because I was just destroyed by front squats. Back squats. Back squats destroyed me this phase. Now I did everything on my second day: front squat, hang cleans, RDLs, all that, but I was still destroyed. And then I ended up PRing, and once I hit this, not this lift specifically, but it was like 185, 195 for like 6, and the weight drove me down. I knew I was gonna test some crazy.
There you go.
Because like I have never felt anything or experienced anything like that before. The weight forcing me into the ground, and I had to push it with everything in my power back up. It was like perfect weight to PR to. But then after that, my next dunk session after that day was crazy. Like my friend was there, he helped me film, and I was just punching everything. I made 6 or 7 windmills. This rim is 910, but for me to be like punching windmills this easily and consistently and effortless on 910 was crazy. Even got a little assisted elbow hang, which made that session everything. So then once I deloaded, I was super excited. I was nervous all day. I couldn't sleep that night, and it took me like 8 tries to get 11 foot, which scared me. I was like, am I gonna be stuck at 11 foot? So I had to try over and over again. But all the volume and stuff I built up throughout the hypertrophy cycle was just like a shot. Like it made me jump extremely well. So I love hypertrophy, but I'm going back to a strength cycle where I'm gonna do deep squats. I'm gonna go back to deadlifts. This is the last lift I just did yesterday, and I was able to PR my deadlift a lot. My technique, I know has to get a lot better. I ended up doing 300 twice for 4, so 8 reps in total of 300. But we just gotta improve the technique and just get my strength up even higher. For this 51 and a half or 51, and if y'all want to try my workouts or anything, let me know how it goes. I love you all. Thank you all for the immense support on the last video, and I'll catch y'all on the next time. Peace.